Punk has taken London's youth by storm.
People's minds are too imprisoned. We want to destroy that so the future can emerge.
We're going to kick this country awake if it kills us.
Good morning. First of all, congratulations on the show. I watched all 6 episodes in one go. I was just totally enthralled by it. Just wonderful, wonderful job. And congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
So first of all, what was it like to work with a director like Danny Boyle, who is so obsessed with music? And did he offer any insight into just how big the Sex Pistols were when he was growing up?
Yeah, I mean, he's also just an absolute fountain of knowledge. So I don't think there's a detail that he missed or didn't know. And you could see how much it means to him, and the impact that it's had. And he just turns up to work every day with so much passion. I actually remember one particular scene where the gig wasn't loud enough and he stopped everything. He was like, no, it needs to be loud. Like the audience need to feel it. Like, and you can just see how much he wants it to just like infect everyone.
Yeah, I think he was very open about, I mean, he said the Sex Pistols had changed his life.
Yeah.
So I think that was, he was very passionate about the subject matter, which was infectious.
So what was your knowledge of the band before you signed on? And did you have any experience going to punk gigs before you took on the role?
I used to pogo with my daddy when I was a little girl. We're talking about like 5 or 6. So yeah, it was. I had a sort of a memory of it from childhood, but no, it put me off more than anything. So no punk gigs as an adult.
Yeah, I didn't know much about the Sex Pistols until the show. I knew more about Chrissy's music and the Pretenders. But going to those gigs when we filmed, it felt like we were just going to a real gig and watching, our friends perform, which was quite cool. So that was really fun. I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, I really didn't know much at all. I was aware of the Sex Pistols. I was aware of all the kind of, the artwork and Vivienne Westwood, but I didn't know how it all played out together. So it just felt, as soon as you started uncovering the knowledge you didn't know, it was just more and more and more.
And what would you say were the main advantages of doing Pistol as a TV series as opposed to a film? Did you feel it gave you more room to breathe as an actor?
Massively. It felt like it gave with characters more of an arc, more time, more space to breathe, and you could really just play on those nuances as well in each storyline. Even for like Nancy, who comes in at the end of the show, essentially, I felt like I got enough time to explore her.
Yeah, because it's such a huge ensemble as well, that in order to like weave every thread together and and set the scene of the particular point in time,
there just wouldn't have been enough time in a film to really capture. I think even now it's like you could have episodes and episodes and episodes of all of these characters and all of their storylines. There's so much in the full 6 episodes, so I'm really glad that we were able to have that much time in there.
And just you touched upon it there. You're all playing pretty prominent historical figures in the history of rock music. Did you feel any pressure in playing these iconic figures, or did you just want to put your own spin on them?
I think it was very much about putting our own spin on them, and also, it was our interpretation of the character that Craig had written that was inspired from the real person. So it was kind of like a chain link of what we ended up with. I think there's always a bit of pressure, and I think you always want to handle it carefully and considerately. But also knowing that we didn't know these people and not doing an impression of them is very much an interpretation of who they might have been in these scenarios.
Yeah, doing a fictionalized version versus, more of a documentary, it gives you a little more room to focus on the essence of the character. But also I really enjoyed, I was able to meet with Chrissy, Tallulah met with Vivienne, and getting their perspectives was so insightful. And it'd be tiny details that none of us would have been able to gather. It'd be one little memory that you'd pocket and go, oh, okay, maybe I can use that somewhere. So that was quite fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I assume your performance as Chrissy Hine in particular, you're kind of the audience surrogate, as it were. You're kind of like the person in the middle of all the chaos. Is that something that was written on the page, or was that your own interpretation of it, as in she is just kind of the moral center of the show, as it were?
I don't know. It's interesting hearing people's perspectives on the show. I definitely felt when filming this connection to her being a bit of an outsider, you know, and art imitated life in the way I moved over to London. I was the only American there, and even learning, you know, the London lingo and everything was, you know, something that she had gone through at that time. So being able to observe, and man, she was a bit older as well than most of the boys. So I really enjoyed that piece of her, and I think through Chrissy's character, you kind of get to see different sides of other characters when they're alone with her versus when they're out in the, you know, the chaos of the band. So those scenes in particular, some with you and Sid and Steve, were really enjoyable to kind of bring out a different side of them.
I'd say that was maybe the strongest part of the show, actually. I just think it was absolutely wonderful. And my final question then is, Krista does such an amazing job of capturing what, like, you know, the societal and political scene was like around the time the Sex Pistols broke out. With the way the world is now, do you think a band like the Sex Pistols could break out today, or has the culture changed too much?
I think there are bands that can break out. I think there's an amazing thing, like in the creative, whatever's going on, people want to feel understood, or they want something to connect or relate to that's potentially bigger than them, that has a platform to kind of, you know, shout it from the rooftops, essentially. And I know we're in a different world with social media, etc., but I feel that lends itself to everyone having a platform.
I think too, you know, the whole world is dealing with the pandemic and the lockdowns and the isolation. I'm hopeful that people want to physically go out and, you know, use their hands and create things physically, instead of just keeping it on the cloud, wherever that may be. The cloud. Where is the cloud?
Listen, thank you so much for your time, and congratulations on the show.
Thank you so much.
What do you want to say with your music? Actually, we're not into music. We're into chaos. This is punk!